You're listening to the Business Wealth Impact Podcast, your source for empowering information and cutting-edge ideas from the world's top minds. I'm your host, Jeanne Amlour, founder of seven-figure coaching company, Jeanne Amlour International. Join me on a journey to unleash your potential and create your highest success. Welcome to Business Wealth Impact. Hello and welcome to another show of Business Wealth Impact. Today we have a lovely guest, Maria Cristini. Maria is an executive coach of many years' experience and author of 2 Feet In. She also helps mission-driven leaders stay grounded and embrace chaos with clarity. Welcome, Maria.
Thank you, Jeanne. I'm thrilled to be here with you today.
Yes, me too. So, Maria, you wrote a book called Embracing Chaos, and it's about embracing chaos and a number of other things. So I'd love you to share with everybody, how do we embrace chaos?
Just the title of the book is 2 Feet In, Finding Clarity, Purpose, and Passion in Your Life and Career. And one of the main topics in the book is about embracing chaos. I just really feel that people avoid chaos. And one of the things that helps people move forward, especially leaders in their field, I mean, as you know, as a leader, chaos, enters our lives in all kinds of ways. And so I really support people in embracing chaos and learning everything they can from it. And I see chaos as a doorway to change.
Okay, 100%. Now, there's a saying, and I believe this because I came across this idea or philosophy, or even something that's based in actual psychology, that the most successful people are the ones that can embrace the largest amount of chaos. Would you agree with that?
Yes, and stay calm through it and learn how to compartmentalize stepping into the chaos and then stepping out of it. So one thing that I might be able to say to help you and your listeners is that I feel that there's 3 types of chaos. So one is the positive chaos that we initiate and create for the change that we want to move forward and mix things up and, build something. So that might be, on a personal level, it might be renovating your kitchen. You decide to create that chaos in your life. It might be launching a new business. It may be quitting a job that feels very safe and secure to try your own business. So there's many ways to initiate chaos for the purpose of change and growth. Then there's chaos that comes to you, that lands in your lap. So that might be, there's a fire in your house, right? And then you have to deal with that. Or there's an illness that happens that you're told that you have, either yourself or someone in your family. That's chaos. Or you get laid off from your job. Maybe funding shifts or changes, or someone that's really important on your team decides to leave, and that creates chaos. And that's the type of chaos that is connected to your values and what you care about. And so you do want to address it. And, we can talk about addressing chaos in a moment, but that is chaos that comes to you that you do want to engage with. And then the third kind of chaos is what I call shadow chaos. So this chaos doesn't belong to you. And there's it's like noise, like right now we're surrounded with, how many times do we have breaking news throughout the day? But you can't do anything about it. And it just fills your head if you get engaged with it. Or, you might call it water cooler gossip, or, drama. You might have friends or colleagues that constantly have drama in their lives. And are you going to engage with that or not? That's not your chaos. And so I think it's very important to be discerning about the type of chaos we engage with. And why are we engaging with it? And then how do we engage with it?
Okay, I love the way you broke it into 3 categories, because it's so important to categorize stuff and compartmentalize. So, okay, first of all, the growth chaos is self-imposed. We are agreeing, I'm going to take on more to grow. For instance, like say in your business, I'm going to take on traveling a lot to go to events. That's self-imposed chaos because traveling and packing and all of that is chaotic, right? And you agreed to that. So clearly, you signed up for that chaos. And we know that we signed up for it. And that's just another example, like in a business, right? Or like you wrote a book. Well, it's chaotic fitting a book writing into everything else you were doing or any
Right.
other new venture. Okay. So we know that we signed up for it. So we should be on board with that. We know what that is, right? That self-imposed, self-created chaos to create growth. Okay. I love it. Now, the second part is something we have no control over. It is, well, two of them is other people. And Jean-Paul Sartre, No Way Out. His whole idea of hell was other people. That's what he's talking about there. Okay. Because he was an atheist, so he didn't believe in heaven, hell, or God, but he did believe hell was other people. And I'm kind of inclined to agree with him on a secondary level. That is another kind of hell. Because when you think about it, I agree. You can't control other people and what they're doing to you or getting in your way or bugging you or suing you or being, a pain. Okay.
Right.
So that to me is a kind of chaos that people struggle more with. Would you agree?
Yeah. I mean, it's like the rug gets pulled out from under you and suddenly something is there that you weren't planning on. It disrupts, this order that you thought you had in your life. But there, I think it's really important when that happens is to decide, does this connect with my values? Does this matter to me? What's my piece in this? Why would I be engaged with this? And so when you connect to your why and the importance of it to you and the bigger picture of your life, then you start to say, okay, I'm going to, do what I need to do to be responsible for this chaos. That's the piece, is also being responsible for the chaos. What actions can I take? And I think people tend to skirt around chaos. I mean, it's scary. Chaos is nothing we can't say it's enjoyable, but if it's connected to our values and who we are, then it matters. And when things matter, we want to step in and be engaged with them.
Actually, chaos can be enjoyable.
Mm-hmm.
When there's no pain attached to it and you're like, wow, it's so chaotic. We've been traveling around the world. Well, that's chaotic and it's fun. So, I mean, there is kind of chaos that you impose for fun because traveling is chaotic, but it's fun.
That's
right? And there's no danger. There's no disappointment. There's nobody doing anything bad to you. It's just, we've created a bunch of chaos because we're going on a, world tour. That's chaotic. Right.
Right.
Or we're going to take kids to Disney World. That's chaotic. Somebody's having fun. Maybe not you, but the kids are, right? So there is a type of chaos we are creating, which might not be fun because we're creating chaos and it's not fun chaos in the business, but we need it. Or there is this fun chaos of traveling. That's a good example because it's chaotic to travel. You're not at home. And so it can be fun. Overextending yourself sometimes, and it can be fun because it gets your adrenaline going and you don't normally do that. So I feel like that first one can be fun. The second one's no fun at all because the second one, you didn't ask for it, right? So I guess the question I have is, yes, it's great to say, okay, here's the label. That's the chaos that could be fun and I've imposed and I've signed up for that. Here's one I don't really want. But nobody sits around and says, does this align with my values if somebody is being a pain in the ass? There's nobody asking that question because you have to deal, like somebody sues you. You don't go, oh my gosh, this is aligned with my values. You have to get a lawyer, right? So how do we cope with the chaos that we see as a negative chaos that we're afraid of? That bad chaos in our minds.
Yeah, well, say someone is suing you, but you do care about the outcome.
Yeah.
And so you have to keep your mind on the long-term vision. Like, what is the outcome that's going to matter to me in my life and to, those engaged with me. And so you're going to embrace that lawsuit and protect yourself and do what you need to do in order to get to the other side of it in the most positive way possible.
Okay, that's the key.
So there's always another side to the chaos. So the key is stepping into it, engaging with it, being responsible for it, and getting to the other side.
But the key is positive. You said the word positive. That's the
Yeah.
key. The key
Having a
is,
hopeful vision.
yes, it's not, because a lot of people, I see them seeing this word of chaos as I have no power now. Oh, my life is so chaotic. I hear that all the time. And I'm thinking, yeah, like life can be chaotic, and I can choose when I want it to be more chaotic, by the way, because I choose that. Or I say, now I don't want that much chaos, and I'll just take whatever happens, right? Because, I have kids and stuff happens. So I feel like there is a disempowerment connected to the word chaotic and chaos. Would you agree?
Yeah. And that's exactly what I'm trying to say or share, is that we don't have to lose our power.
Good. Okay.
And actually, I have a little exercise around your power, if you want me to share that.
Sure.
When we're in chaos, for example, or any type of situation, when we feel empowered, we feel clear, we feel resourceful, whatever it is for you, right? It might be clarity, resourcefulness, energized, joyful. But when we are constricted, which chaos does, it constricts us, it shuts us down sometimes. That's when we feel, foggy. We lack clarity. We don't know what the next step is. We could feel like a victim, right? So it's important to know when you're starting to feel those, whatever those constricted energies are for you, to be aware of them and know that you're losing your power. And then remember how you do feel when you are in your power, and then shift that. Just do whatever you need to do. Turn on music, whatever it is for you, to shift into that new energy, take a walk, whatever it is, so that you can embrace the chaos and whatever is happening, whatever it is that you want to create, in a more powerful way.
Great. No, and this is a known technique to just change your state.
Right.
Change your state. Okay, great. Now let's talk about the third one, because I don't actually watch the news. I don't read the news. I just see updates here and there. And I had that same thought this morning. I get these updates, and I'm just thinking, yet another breaking news emergency update, which I don't go, I'm probably going to turn these off. But there's only so many emergencies we can have and actually still react as an emergency, because we just get used to it after a while. It's like, it's the boy who cried wolf. Because after a while, it's just the boy who cried wolf. So is your strategy like mine, is that I don't actually read the news or watch the news, and I hear stuff anyway. You always hear it. And I feel like when I don't really care about what the news is, unless it's something that we really need to know about and I would hear about it anyway, I am so much calmer because there's nothing I can do about it. I'm not a lobbyist. I'm not a politician. So really, in the moment, worrying about stuff does create more chaos in our minds. And I have eliminated that chaos. So what's your strategy about the worldly chaos? What's your strategy?
I have the same strategy right now. I have turned off, in my house, we do not watch the news on television. I do read the news for about 20 minutes, maybe. And I personally read it in the evening. I know people say not to do that, but I do, because it's a time when then I go to sleep and it's gone, and it does not keep me awake. And so I just read the headlines. I read a little bit. I pay attention to what's going on, and I'm done with it. Because if the point is, if, like you're saying, if you can't be responsible for it, if there's nothing you can do about it, then it's not your chaos to manage.
Right.
Ideally, we've put people in the roles that can manage those things.
Right. And if it's something really important, somebody is going to call me up and say, did you hear? Because they always do.
Yes.
And sometimes I have heard, because you just hear stuff. It's funny, without even reading the news. I do have little notices when something, but there are cases where people ask me, did you hear about that? And I said, no, I didn't. And I thought, well, only real thing I can do is pray for those people. That's it.
Yeah.
Because it already happened. Right. And by the way, there's a lot happening that's not reported on the news. So my thought was, how much news do we need to know about? People say, you need to know what's going on in the world. Yeah, but there's so much we don't know. So it's just how much. So you just pick, to me, how much you want to know about, right?
Well, unfortunately, and we have so much technology now that we have news that's happening around the entire planet.
Mm,
I mean, our parents didn't have that. They only knew what was happening nearby,
right.
or it's just we receive so much news that we can't manage.
Hmm.
And so we do have to pick and choose. Like, is there a particular charity that does good work that we want to donate to? That's the way we can be responsible. If I want to be responsible for the planet, I donate to organizations that, take care of our earth. If I'm worried about food not getting to people across the world, I donate to organizations. And I'm fortunate in that, this is just a personal thing that I celebrate all the time, is that I work with clients that are doing amazing work in the world. So I get to hear the amazing work that's happening. And that keeps me elevated and joyful and hopeful for what's happening in the world.
Right. I agree. I'm wearing the top. I'm in this abundance 360 thing. And it's definitely news in a way, but it's more what's going on with AI and with longevity. So it's news, but it's not reading the news of what happened. It's research and it's new findings. So I'm not saying not to educate ourselves about stuff we should be researching.
Exactly.
I'm just saying listening to everyday catastrophe news that we get of everything bad happening in the world. Okay, so now the uncertainty part, you talk a lot about walking with uncertainty. Now, people don't like that. They feel lost when they don't have things black and white, like your top black and white. That's what they want. It's very interesting you wore that top today. So how do people walk with the grays?
So that's also a chapter in my book, Walking with Uncertainty. And I just think humans are so resourceful, and as humans, we've been walking with uncertainty our entire life. From the minute we're born, we don't come out of the womb with any guarantees. Our parents are constantly worried that we're going to be hit by a bus, right? There is the uncertainty of simply walking around and not knowing what is going to happen next. So the thing that we know how to do more than anything is walk with uncertainty.
Mm.
But we forget it. We constantly forget that we have years, a lifetime of experience of walking with uncertainty. And so I just love to remind people of that, because especially as leaders, we're constantly stepping outside of our comfort zone and doing something that feels uncertain. And so just remembering that we are resourceful, we are whole, we are creative, we know how to take care of ourselves, and using that. We've had years of success. We wouldn't be where we are now if we didn't. And using that just to remember when we are about to do something new that's uncomfortable, and just, own that you know how to walk with uncertainty.
Also, there's no way any growth can happen with doing the same things over and over. So again, we have to choose. I'm going to do something that's scary and new and see what happens. And some growth will come out of it. But nothing new ever happened without doing something new. And I don't talk about comfort zones ever, because it's very uncomfortable for a human being to go through life not fulfilling their potential. So I call it familiar zones, because we're familiar, but yet it is not comfortable. And I don't know why they even came up with that, because there's so much psychological discomfort of anxiety, dysthemia, underlying thoughts of, I'm doing the same thing over and over again, and I'm telling myself I'm comfortable. It's familiar, but it's really not comfortable. Because a human being does not want, generally, most human beings, depends on the human being, but people in our, leaders, people that are striving for success and doing things aren't really comfortable. They have resigned themselves to a familiar spot, and we have to get out of that.
Yeah, whenever we are about to do something that's uncomfortable, no matter what the experience is, people have this lack of confidence, and it's just goes with the territory. As leaders, we learn to gulp and keep moving forward. Take a breath, move forward.
Right. And that is the way to do it, and drag your fears behind you, not try to sort out why you're afraid all the time and overanalyze, just take another step. That's
Yeah.
big on taking a step and dragging the fears behind you. And then you start to see results, and there are no fears. They just dissipate into thin
Yeah.
air. Now, we have a special gift for the listeners. There's a workbook that's in the show notes on embracing chaos. So it's a PDF, so go grab that. And so, Maria, this has been really interesting. Tell us, what's some nugget that you can leave people with as far as mindset or something that you've learned in your life that you'd like to share with everybody?
I love to encourage people not to worry. Like, I just think we spend so much time with things spinning in our heads, which is kind of chaos in your head, worrying about things, imagining things in our future that will never take place. And so just when that worry starts to happen, ask yourself, how can I be responsible for this today? Can I be responsible for it? If yes, take a small step forward toward that. And if not, let it go, because it will just stop you dead in your tracks.
So interesting. Just the other day, I had the thought, I was started to worry about something, and I said to myself, what if I just didn't worry at all?
Yeah.
And something clicked. I thought, okay, I'm just not going to worry at all. And unless it's really huge, we could not worry at all. We really have no worries. If we're in America and doing okay, and we're in good health and our family's in good health, we really don't have any worries compared to the whole world. Would you agree with that?
I think we all choose to live here for a reason.
For sure. Okay, well, this has been great. Thank you so much for being on the show. And thank you for listening. Don't forget to grab the free PDF on how to embrace chaos. And we will see you on the next show. You're listening to the Business Wealth Impact Podcast, your source for empowering information and cutting-edge ideas from the world's top minds. I'm your host, Jean Amlour, founder of seven-figure coaching company, Jean Amlour International. Join me on a journey to unleash your potential and create your highest success. Welcome to Business Wealth Impact.